This conference will now be recorded.
Well, thank you everyone for joining our Fire Commission meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners on November 12th, 2020. My name is Steve Noble, Mayor here in the City of Kingston and Chairperson of the Kingston Fire Commission. We are going to get started with just a couple of housekeeping things. This meeting will be recorded and transcribed and will be posted on the City of Kingston website tomorrow. You can find this attached to the agenda as well as at www.kingston-ny.gov/Kingston Live for all of our live video recordings from our meetings. With that said, if there is anyone from the public that would like to make a comment, they can email in advance of the meeting mbrown@kingston-ny.gov to have your comment as part of the public record. But with that said, we're going to get started with our commission meetings. It does look like we have a quorum, so I'm just going to do attendance for the record. We have Commissioner Tom Hoffe here, as well as Commissioner Stanley Chandler here. Fire Chief Mark Brown and Assistant Chief Chris Ray are both here as well, in addition to myself. And so we do have a quorum for today's meeting. And so this is the first time that we've had a meeting in some time. I appreciate everyone's willingness to do this remotely. Hopefully we will be at a time where we can have these in-person public meetings, but for now, we're going to continue to try to meet every other month on this platform. And so with that, I'd like to see if we could start today's meeting with a report from the chief as to the ongoings of the Kingston Fire Department over the last couple of months. And Chief, if you want to give us an update on how the fire department has served our community during COVID, and then any other updates that you want to have, that would be great.
So basically, we've been handling COVID. Call volume down a little bit due to COVID. A lot of people were not calling as frequently because they're afraid to call. We did handle quite a few COVID cases. We are well prepared for a second wave with PPE. We were prepared for the first wave also, but we're a little more prepared this time. We've been kind of gathering stuff all summer long. Other than that, the only big news for us is firefighter retirement, which will be effective January 22nd. That'll be Greg Puglisi. He will be leaving the ranks after 34 years. So we're going to miss him, obviously, and that's pretty much it. And the budget, as you're going to ask me about.
So before we go on to the budget talks, do you want to give an update on where we are with our new engine?
We're currently waiting a response as we speak to get right up to date where we are. That's where the assistant chief is right now. Yeah, we've got a lot of items purchased already for the new engine. It will go up to the new set of jaws. We bought a new set of jaws, a new cutter, virtually all new tools. So it will be a new engine so that we're all set to go. We're just waiting for it to get here.
When do you expect it would be in Kingston?
I'm not receiving anybody right now. I don't know what's wrong here.
Okay.
Why am I? Where's my magnet here? I can email people. Something happened.
Are you frozen? Or?
Yeah, it froze up. If anybody can hear me, I'm frozen. I don't have anything on my screen.
We can see you and hear.
Now I heard that. That I heard. What was the question? Was there a question?
The question I had asked was, when do you expect that the engine would arrive in Kingston?
January. It should be here in January. It was held up
Okay,
by a lot of issues.
thank
We
you.
believe that the Cummins plant shut down during COVID, so that slowed the engine. And then there was, what was it, frame issue? Frame, yeah. The frame got slowed up. COVID. It should have been here, but COVID slowed us down.
Sorry, I got a little, the internet seemed to have some connection issues here, so I'm sorry if I lost you, but thank you for giving the truck update.
Sorry for COVID issues. I just lost everything. What is with this thing?
We can see you.
Oh, I got you back. There you are. I got you again. It's COVID. Everything is COVID. We need to swab this internet and get it checked.
Yeah. Do you want to, so one of the things that we were able to put together was our 2021 budget. As folks have probably read, we did ask departments to cut back where they could in response to the pandemic. And I just personally want to thank our Marge for, really digging deep into the budget and, making some difficult choices. I'm proud to be able to say that, we were able to keep the number of staffing the same as we had in 2020. This was also the last year of our SAFER grant. So not only were we able to reduce our spending in next year's budget, but we were also able to continue to keep the 4 firefighters on that we hired with SAFER, which I think is a testament to the good budgeting that our chief has done, and to be able to still have a reduction even after assuming those positions into the budget is really it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the department, and I do think that there's going to be some stretching of the dollars as best we can this coming year, but we also hope that we will get some federal aid at some point to be able to kind of help meet some of the budget shortfalls that we may still encounter or have been dealing with. But Chief, do you want to give any updates on the budget and the budget process and how your budget meeting went?
My budget meeting went very well. The only question we received was on the physical fitness incentive, which was $15,300. It was explained. It's been around for a long time. I believe Chief Salzman was chief, Chris, when that came into effect, the physical fitness. So it's been here a while. These guys are asked to do a lot, so they should have some type of incentive. Most of the questions I got during my meeting were, was I sure we were going to make it through with what I budgeted? I believe we can. It'll be a tough year, but it's not only going to be a tough year for the fire department, it's going to be a tough year for the city. So, I think we'll do it. We'll be fine. The finance committee assured me that if I get into any issues, I should come up and see them. And believe me, I will take them up on that. And if there is a problem, I'll be there. But we will just make things do. That's what we'll do. Hopefully we'll come out of this and next year will be a better year, and we'll get back some of the stuff we gave up and move ahead with our plan to get Central Station done. And we have one more apparatus that's getting older, and then we'll be all set.
Great. Thank you for that update, Chief. I think that, at this point, in terms of any, old business, I think that you just touched on Central Station. That's kind of one of our ongoing old business items. Obviously, we have an interest in trying to preserve Central Station and to fix what we can. That project has been, with the COVID pandemic, put on hold for now. But I will say that even during this time period, the chief has really tried to make, some, physical improvements to the building while he can with the budget that he has. But it is something that we are definitely interested in still working on as we go forward, and making sure that, we're making the building last as long as it can. And we think that at this point, that's the most fiscally prudent thing for us to do. And there's also the history of the building, which again is, I think, worth preserving.
We're starting to put together a plan to lessen the burden on the building. That I think we need another couple of months before we say exactly what that is. The mayor's aware of it. When we can get a little bit more information, we have a couple of ways to keep things going until we can get the money to fix the station.
And I didn't in particular have any other new business items. So I thought at this point, we could open it up to the commissioners to see if there's any questions that we could help answer that any commissioner may have.
My only question would be, are we still pursuing the idea of the fire department transporting people to the hospital?
So yeah, I mean, I think that is part of the long-term, goal of the department. I know many of the staff are interested. I think that we will continue to see the need for our own ambulance or paramedic type, transport system in place. But we have not had a lot of opportunity to do that planning. But it's something that is still, for me anyway, speaking for myself, something I'm very interested in. Chief, do you want to add anything else to that?
There's a lot of stuff down the line. Ambulances are one. Sooner or later, we're probably going to have to be looking at a second ladder truck. We're getting more and more high-rise buildings in the city that we didn't have before. But I think we all had to take a step back when the pandemic hit. We were cruising right along, working on the ambulances and working on a lot of stuff that just suddenly COVID took control of everything. Basically, the day-to-day operation of our firehouse is keep everybody safe. Throughout this entire pandemic, we've had only one COVID positive firefighter, which to me is a pretty big accomplishment. And that's basically what we do every day is these guys don't get to work from home. They have to be here and they have to still go on calls. So a lot of stuff got put on the back burner. And once we get out of the pandemic, we can start opening up and looking at those other things again. But right now, it's trying to keep the residents and the firefighters safe.
But I think there's just something to be said about, even when you have this type of pandemic situation, it's nice to be able to know that we could take care of our own and not rely on, kind of an outside organization to kind of meet the needs of our residents. And so I think it further kind of, builds on our interest in expanding, our medical capabilities.
Well, I think something has to be said about the only COVID case we had did not come from here. So these guys have all treated and continue to treat positive patients, COVID positive, but because of the guidelines that have been put in place and the fact that we can maintain PPE and they know the rules, that they treat patients and they're not really exposed because they're protecting themselves. And we've stuck to it. We've had incidences where people might have gone a little off the rails and it's been taken care of. And for the most part, outside of a few minor scares, it's been business as usual. Now remember that in the middle of this pandemic, we've had 3 fatalities and structure fires this year, which is not normal neither. But that has nothing to do with the pandemic. We still put the fires out. We're still doing our job. It's just that some of the bigger issues that we wanted to tackle this year, unfortunately, we can't tackle.
Right.
Any other questions?
No, I think you guys are to be commended for, the work of keeping things on a normal basis and being able to respond not only to fires, but to medical situations and keep the firefighters safe at the same time. I mean, I think you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Well, I think we were prepared. Chris and I were talking in January about this stuff before the pandemic hit. So we prepared ourselves for it. And, you know, a lot of things, there's going to be a lot of shocked people when at the end of the year, you know, our overtime is going to be down. Some other things will be up, but for the most part, the department has run efficiently throughout this entire pandemic. And that's basically what we want to do. And it's stayed status quo. The sick time hasn't been that bad at all. And if guys feel they're sick, they stay home. If guys feel they're sick, they get a test. At one point in time in March or April, the whole department was tested. And we may throw that at them again. I don't know. But so far, everything we've done has worked. So I'd like to keep
It sounds as if it sounds as if the crisis is going to peak again, like after Thanksgiving into January. That, you know, it will be even a further test than the one we've seen before. That's what we're being told anyway.
Well, one advantage we have is when that vaccine comes out, first responders are going to get it first. So that's a big deal. The only fear I have is, look, they could give me the vaccine right now, I would take it. But there are going to be a lot of people that aren't going to take it. That's my fear. And I literally can't force these guys. If somebody doesn't want to take the vaccine, I can't force them to take the vaccine. For the most part, it's not considered a exposure unless you're not wearing PPE. These guys wear their PPE. In the peak of it, they were wearing Tyvek. So we had them dressed in Tyvek, face shields, N95s, another engine going to the scene, washing them down after the call. We went to the extreme, and we'll continue going to the extreme until we're out of it. You got to remember, if I get one guy on one shift, that takes 12 guys out. Now, that's got to be covered by another shift. And if you lose two shifts, then what do? You can't keep people here 24/7 with only two shifts. So it becomes a real important matter that guys don't make stupid mistakes. And they've been good. You know, like I said, a little blip here and there, but so far, knock wood, so good. And we'll stay on it.
How have have the guys that we hired over the past year, probably under the SAFER grant, how have they worked out? They were going away for training and
All of them are done. All of them have been through. 4 of them, their course got cut short. We picked up what they didn't get at the academy, and they passed their CPAT. Lions passed 2. They all just recently passed because I was up to Montour in October for Colin's graduation. And Jordan, Aiden Hen, Trevor Bailey, and Brett Pagando had their CPAT the 27th of October, and they all passed. So everybody that we got hired last year is in, they're done. They're basically just waiting for the end of their probation period. They've already started to move. They're already getting trained on all the apparatus. So everything's moving fine in that regard. Pretty much everyone has had a working fire.
good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments for us this afternoon? Well, hearing none, we will plan to have our next meeting in January, and the chief will get that on the calendar for everyone. We will, again, try to keep anyone updated if there's any substantial changes to the ongoings of the fire department. But I appreciate all of the commissioners' time and energy meeting with us today, and for your help supporting the fire department.
Guys, if you need any questions answered, call me. Believe me, Commissioner Tietzel does, so you might as well too. So feel free to call me.
So I'll have a motion to adjourn the meeting at this point?
So
I'll
moved.
make it.
Thank you, and Stanley second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Well, thank you all very much. I'm going to turn off the recording. I appreciate it. We'll see everybody soon.